Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. We are back for another episode of Chummy Thumbs. I am Shao. I'm here with Hayden and Justin, who is currently trying to prove to us that he can indeed solve a Rubik's Cube. I, for one, know nothing about this quote unquote sport. Would you call it a sport? There's competitions. There's a competitive, I've seen those ones where, it's really all official. You do it and they have to put their hands up and then someone comes and checks. No one touch, no one go near, no one go near. And then they have to check the time and check everything's right.
It's definitely a sport. Those people are insane. They can do it in 5 seconds or 4 seconds. It's ridiculous. I can do it in under 5, but
seconds?
I don't know if I've done under 4. No, minutes.
Is it a white
I'm probably
people
doing
sport?
about 3 something maybe.
It's a white people
I haven't
sport.
timed
Isn't
myself in a while. What's that?
It's a white person sport, isn't it? We're not good at anything else, so they're like Rubik's Cube. That's our jam.
Wait a minute.
That's got Asian written all over it, bro. Are you kidding me?
Did you not see the documentary? There was a documentary with
Does it look like I've seen it?
I think the Asian guy with autism.
I was gonna say, I think he's autistic, which is he's Asian and autistic. Nobody's touching.
No, you're fucked.
I've seen someone do it they do 2 in one hand each.
Hayden, don't do that action to us.
Hayden, still talking about Rubik's Cubes.
I thought it was something else. Radio tuning.
Now, so Justin, would you be an advocate to see this Rubik's Cube in an Olympic sport one day or what?
Oh, that's a great question. A little throwback to our Olympics episode.
That's right.
I think, no.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of agree with that.
Everything.
Yeah.
No.
On that,
maybe an Australian
unless I get
could
on 5,
attempt
if
it.
If I can compete, then yes. Yeah.
Well, if you create your
Then
own
for sure.
governing body for it in Canada, the Rubik's
exactly.
Cube founding body, and then you could be the first one in.
Yeah. Well, I feel like with Ray-Ban and people like that I'd probably have a
Ray gun.
Ray-Gun. Yeah.
Ray-Ban.
Who's retiring from the sport?
Well, she'll do it just for fun, she said, but not competitively.
Wait a minute. She wasn't doing it for fun at the Olympics?
That's open for debate.
That's an entirely different
That's another
episode.
We have to do a second part of our first time we talked about ray gun and that bullshit. On that note, for those of you who can't see, Hayden usually likes to, dress up a little bit for our episodes, and he is indeed wearing a Pizza Planet t-shirt. Is there anything on the back, this one?
No, it's just plain.
Okay. No, it's cool. I like it. So, of course, Pizza Planet is from the world of Pixar, and it was, I believe, first seen in Toy Story? Toy Story 1?
I believe so.
Toy Story, the original Pixar full-length animated movie.
Yeah. For some reason, I always thought Bug's Life was before that, but now that's wrong.
No, and as a matter of fact, Toy Story is the first ever full-length animated movie.
I remember watching that in theaters. You guys watching in theaters?
No, I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, I remember it was a nighttime movie, and then my brother took us out, and my sister was really not pleased because it was a school day, and it was like a 8 p.m. movie or something like that or whatever. Anyways, so yeah, the Pizza Planet thing appears on every movie, kind of. There's maybe 1 or 2 movies that it doesn't appear in actually, but there's also a lot of Easter egg stuff that I really love about Pixar that they sprinkle in there, and I'll catch a few from time to time, but when I watch the videos on YouTube, when people actually kind of dissect it, I'm like, holy crap, how did people see this? I think they actually sometimes have to go frame by frame because they're in the background, they're kind of blurred out a little
Nerds.
I was gonna say, how many people do they have on a film? It's like, okay, you're gonna take the first 5 minutes and you're just gonna go click through each frame, and record anything that you see. They got a whole task force dedicated to it, really.
So today is mostly about Pixar, but a very specific movie. But before I get into that, I want to touch up on what we were just talking about, which is when you have a Pixar movie, a script, let's say, And every movie now has all the, like, at least maybe 20 to 40 Easter eggs. How do they, at what point do they kind of write it in? Or, you know what I mean? This is like storyboarding, and then they're like, oh, let's put the Chinese takeout box thing here, or like, let's put the ball with the star here. You know what I mean? I'm really curious about that process of how they kind of sprinkle in these little things, and the ones that kind of intertwine with the other movies.
And I wonder if it's like a studio decision, if they're like, okay, you got to meet a quota of Easter eggs in the film, or if it's like the directors just paying homage to the creators before them, or even the animators. If the animators are the ones like building the scene out, obviously it's storyboarded and designed, but if they're the ones who maybe are paying the homage, or maybe it's a combination of all.
Yeah. And another one, just to throw it out there is the one that shows up on every movie, which is the A113 shout out, which is, I think, the original room that the studio, or not studio, where the team kind of worked in. It's a classroom, right? The A113.
When anyway, it was part of Lucasfilm.
What?
It used to be part of Lucasfilm.
Pixar?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there goes one of my fucking trivia questions.
Did you know? Yeah.
That was actually one of them. Anyways,
remember.
Let's scrap that one.
Yeah.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, you gave that was an easy point for you. So today we are going to talk about Yeah, roll with it.
You're a scat man. You're the scat man.
Fucking hell, Hayden. Jesus Christ.
Hey, we were on such a brain meld there. We are indeed talking about Brave. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about Soul, the Pixar Soul, which is for those of you who don't know, is an anime movie that explores the themes of kind of passion, purpose, and like self-discovery. And it follows a gentleman. Say again.
The meaning of life.
Meaning of life, yes. And it follows a gentleman named Joe Gardner, who is played by Jamie Foxx, who is a middle school band teacher and dreams of becoming a professional jazz musician. But early on, I'm not going to, spoiler alert or whatever. If you haven't seen it, I don't fucking care. You should have seen it a long time ago. But he dies. And his soul is sent to this place called the Great Before, which is like a realm where souls are matched with unique passions and whatever. But he teams up with a soul named 22, who is played by Tina Fey. And they kind of show each other what life is about in a way. So there are some pretty deep themes, as Pixar movies usually does have. I was wondering, just right off the bat, Hayden, I know Hayden hasn't seen this before and just watched it as of today, or did you even finish it, Hayden?
I did finish it.
Okay.
I even watched all of the extra behind the scenes features as well, which I haven't done in forever.
Is that why you were getting your Deere tractor from down the road?
Yeah. I was like, literally, I've got 10 minutes left, guys.
Yeah. We have a very interesting kind of point of view because I haven't heard anyone who just watched it for the first time, the review on it. So would you mind telling us what you thought of the movie? What kind of like, where does it kind of rank in your personal top tier Pixar versus the bottom?
Well, I used to be very up to date with all Pixar films. Came out cinema viewing like straight away.
Yes.
It was all, and then when the DVDs came out, all the way. Then when we got Disney Plus, and I thought, sick, I've got access to every single Pixar film at my fingertips. But would I watch them? No, because there's so much other stuff out there. So I kind of grew away from them. And then I spoke with you guys before in that.
I wasn't listening, but
yeah, you're just like, oh, sounds, such lovely sounds. In that, I felt like I couldn't keep up. Kind of like with MCU films, it was just like a new one every year. But then I realized some of them are Pixar, some of them are Disney animated. The quality was good. So this was the first one that I'd seen in quite a while. I think the last one before this would have been, I don't even know the chronological order of it. Maybe Cars 2 or 3. I can't remember.
You haven't seen Inside Out?
Oh, that one, yeah. See, so many of them. I saw Inside Out 2, not the first one. Inside Out 2 was the last one I saw.
Listen, nobody's buying that one movie a year as too many movies, okay? Just relax.
Hey, I'm so old school.
There was like 65 years in a year. How can you expect me to watch one movie?
Because there's so many other things to watch. I was like, no, it was like, okay, I could wait 5 years for another Pixar film. You know, that's how it used to be. It used to be like a long time.
Right.
Don't ruin my justification, Mr. Justin. So I hadn't watched a Pixar film, and I love animated films so much. So going back to one was actually really good because I know, like, Shao, you said that you really, really enjoyed it, and then Justin was like, he'll give his opinion in a bit. So I was like, ooh, okay, so I'm going to be the deciding factor here. I'm going to be the one in the middle or the one on either side. But I really enjoyed it, I saw similar themes to Inside Out 2, but kind of on a larger scale because it was dealing with where you find yourself in your whole life, not just in your, adolescence, changing of emotions. So in terms of that thematic sort of thing. So, so overall, I thought it was good. And I think just to waffle on about myself a little bit more, I'm hitting. Okay, switch off, Shao. I'll talk directly to Justin because he's engaging. He's engaging with me. No, I touched on it on a level. I think that the main character is similar, maybe a little bit older than me. He's hitting that middle age where he's trying to pursue his dreams, and he's not giving up. And then he gets hit with a job that offers stability, but he doesn't want to give up on those dreams. And I was like, that sounds too familiar with, many of us. And I'm the same deal, right? I still want to actively pursue the creative side, but it's like, when do you take the stable job, to kind of help support you and your family, which is where I'm at now. But I still want, so I was like very locked in on his character arc from the start. So I'll stop it there. That was the first thing that I grasped onto in terms of enjoyment with the film.
Oh, just quick question before I toss it to Justin. What percentage would you give it out of 100?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd give it a solid A, which would be 85 to 88% range.
A minus. Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
sorry,
good
A minus.
Good answer.
It was up there, but I thought there were some things that.
Sure, it's not by no means is a perfect Pixar movie. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Okay,
second time around it, right? Your second viewing.
Time around. First time around, dude, I loved it. I love the themes it dealt with, and it's one of the things I've always really liked about Pixar movies because they're animated, they're for kids, but they deal with these big themes, like this theme of, who you're chasing something, right? You're thinking that your life is going to be better if you have this or whatever it may be, and not just taking the time to be present and realize that what you have right now can fulfill all those things that you think that you're chasing after. And so when I first watched it, I loved it and I recommended it to everybody. The second time I watched it, I still really enjoyed it, but it didn't impact me the first way. There's definitely other Pixar movies that I've watched multiple times that just impact me the same every time I watch it. Inside Out is one of them. Absolutely love that movie. The second time around, for whatever reason it just didn't, touch me the same way. But there was one line that really stood out to me, and it was when he was with the jazz musician at the end, and he finally, I'm not even going to say spoiler alert because we're talking about films on this, so there's always going to be spoilers. But one thing I liked, I like how quickly he died in the film, because the first time I watched it, like it took me off guard. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, of course he's got to die. Like the movie's called Soul. Like, that's the whole, premise of it. But when he gets back into his body, the right body, and then he actually makes it to the gig, and he performs, and he gets in the zone, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant. And then when it's over, the lead jazz musician who he's playing for, says something like, "How was it?" or something, or they're having a conversation outside while he's waiting for the cab, and he goes, "It's not what I thought it would be." Which is interesting because it's all he thought he wanted and needed in his life for his whole life. And then he gets it, and then he has this realization, like he's still not fulfilled. And then she has that beautiful line where she says, there's two fish, and one fish swims up to the other one and says, "Hey, do you know where I can find the ocean?" And the other fish says, "Yeah, you're in the ocean." And the fish goes, "No, this isn't the ocean. This is water." And then they leave it. And the first time when I watched it, I didn't really think much about it. But this time, for whatever reason, like that's what I was thinking about. It was because it's just like we always are searching or thinking something else, and we're not taking the time in life to just find the beauty in what we have and being able to be fulfilled with what we have. And I really like that theme. And yeah, that, like I said, for whatever reason, the second time it didn't bring me to tears, whereas the first time, that's the goddamn thing about Pixar movies, man. I always end up fucking sitting in the back with my kids because I don't want them to see daddy crying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very fair. I think I was telling Justin before, Hayden, that I think the second time it's quite opposite, because it was more impactful for me the second time. I think it's mostly because this came out during COVID. Yeah, it was 2020, I think, Christmas or something around there. But I think that was also when my career in Hong Kong started to change. That was when I kind of stopped getting some work because of COVID, and then I got back into it. And then when I got back into it, it just, to me, it wasn't as it was kind of that moment where Justin just talked about, where when I first went to Hong Kong, one of my goals was to be in a TVB drama, like a TV show under TVB, this network. And I got that as not a main, but like a supporting lead. And it was very much that moment where I'm like, this isn't very fulfilling to me anymore. Like the sort of spark that I had for acting and all that stuff wasn't there anymore because of my experience with that show. And it kind of pulled me away from the industry for a little bit. Didn't really have interest in doing things there anymore. That was the moment when I started thinking, I think I need to get out of here, because every time I was offered anything, I would be like, ugh. I had that reaction, and it kind of scared me, because it was everything I wanted to do for 20, 25 years, whatever it was, right? And when I got it, I was like, oh no, like, what does this mean? Like, do I still want to do it? What do I do now? Because I never really had a backup plan. So it was kind of a scary moment, but I decided why I'm here now is because I decided I wanted to come back here and try it again, because just everything over there just wasn't working for me. And I was just feeling legitimately like that was lost souls, those dark figures in the movie, and they're like being chased by the pirate ship hippie people. I kind of felt like that. It was, I was kind of, I just kind of felt like I was over there just kind of killing time and just not motivated to do anything. And so maybe that's why this time watching again, I had more to relate to, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of themes that I kind of wrote down that kind of I resonated with as well. And there's one that's, for example, there's like the notions of conventional success and failure. Like Souls question traditional notions of success and failure, suggesting that true fulfillment kind of comes from living life that aligns with one's passions and values rather than achieving external goals and recognition. That's one thing that I had to deal with a lot too. And yeah, and what Justin said, another thing was about how the value of appreciating life's kind of the small things, right? It's just perspective, right? It's just like how 22 found a lot of joy from walking or the little twirly seed thingies or whatever, right? These little things.
Jazzing. She's jazzing.
Jazzing, baby.
Jazzing.
Yeah. And to expand on that a bit, it's like on that theme of like in his mind, there's a purpose. Well, my purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
This is my purpose. And then even when they go back and he asks, oh, what was 22's purpose? The spark. And they're like, what are you talking about? There's no spark. And it's funny because I have that written down too, where it's not about, chasing the big purpose or achievement, but about appreciating the small everyday moments that make life meaningful, Yeah. So it's a big theme,
Yeah, it is. And I think I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that when you get into the industry, you have all these little goals. And once you meet the goal, you kind of just want more and more and more, like a bigger thing. And you don't really know when does that stop? Maybe some people have reached it or whatever, but I just feel like I kind of went through that where, okay, I want to, I guess those little goals are just along the way of the big, maybe a lot of people might be like, oh, I want to win an Oscar or something like that, or I want to be in a Broadway musical. And once they reach that, they're like, same kind of thing where like I kind of feel like that's not enough. I feel like you need more and more and more and more. And then I feel chasing the more can sometimes kind of mess with you and you forget about a lot of the little things.
Yeah. I can tell you what, I had 2 goals when I started pursuing film and acting specifically. Can you guess what those 2 goals were? Okay, I'll give you. Okay. That's an impossible, question to answer. So I'll give you some hints. Okay, for one goal, it was to be in a certain franchise. Can you guess it?
I know this one.
Hayden's nodding.
What, Supernatch?
No, he wants to be in a Star Wars film.
Star Wars film.
Oh,
yeah. So that was my goal. One goal is to be in a Star Wars film, and the other goal, it was to be a certain character. Do you know this one? Did I tell you this one, Hayden?
No,
that's a certain character in Star.
No, not this. Isn't Star Wars related. It's a fictional character. It's been played by multiple people. It's actually come up in our podcast before. It's action. It's an action. I think there's about like 50 movies. It feels like it started as a
James Bond.
Yeah, those were my 2 goals. I wanted to play James Bond and I wanted to be in a Star Wars movie. Failed them both.
Not yet.
You know what's funny? Who stole that dream was Daniel Craig. He was like a stormtrooper in one of those Star Wars.
Yeah, an asshole.
I was gonna say you're getting close to James Bond age. You're a little bit young for him yet, so you've got time.
Yeah, so there's time, and I almost got a Star Trek movie.
All right.
Which, if I just kind of muffled the second word, I almost could be Star Wars. That is Star Trek.
Oh, you did Star Wars?
Yeah.
That's right.
I
Terrible joke.
There's also a ton of animated stuff for Star Wars as well, so you could always, throw your voice out there for it, as well.
That's true. That's very true.
The dream's alive, Hayden. The dream is alive.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to attend like a Star Wars themed wedding. Have you seen those online where they put the sabers up on each side of the aisle? They make like a little tunnel with the lightsabers, and then people they walk through. They walk through it.
I've got to plan a wedding, so
hey,
I'll throw that suggestion out.
You want to be the wedding planner? Just hire Shao as a wedding planner.
Oh my god, that'd be so fun. I can be CP3O and I can officiate.
CP3O? Oh, bro, you can't. You can't even get the name right. No.
When I say C3,
you said
I dyslexic it.
C3PO.
Oh shit, CP3O. That's CP.
RD22.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. I wrote down a couple questions that are related to, this one might be too heavy to start with.
Please.
Yeah, I'm going to skip that one.
Oh,
okay. Do you believe in souls?
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah, we'll skip that one. Okay, that one's heavy. Okay. So in the movie, right? One of the great comedic moments is when Joe, is it? Yep. Joe and 22 are falling to Earth to Joe get back in his body, but 22 falls too. They're falling, and Joe ends up in the cat, and 22 ends up in Joe's body, which leads to a plethora of comedic moments.
Correct.
And actually, there's some really good bits. Even the bit at the barber scene I really liked, when 22 as Joe was sitting down and they were chatting and they had really good conversations, and then 22 says as Joe to the barber, like, why have we never talked about that before, whatever the question was, and he goes, well, you've never asked. And I like those moments of like Joe as the cat seeing like these things, like sort of from the third person perspective. He's like getting perspective on his life by being in another body, essentially. So I thought it'd be fun if you could pick your soul. And I should premise this by saying, Shao, you're not allowed to say the three-breasted woman, Caitlin Lieb. But if you were to pick another animal, human or not, that your soul could be in for a day, who would you like? Who or what would you pick?
Who or what?
Yeah. To like observe how they see the world, or how they would see our world, our personal world.
Yeah. Fuck, Hayden, stop with like. Why do you gotta just take a fun little game and make it all
okay?
I wanted to be able to answer correctly.
I will. My thing was because I've been kind of asked this question before in a slightly different way, where it's like, if I were to pass away, what would I want to be reincarnated, something like that, right? And I've always thought about like a bald eagle for a couple of reasons. One, I like their diet of fish. I love the Pacific Northwest, and I love flying. I like being like pretty much top of the food chain. I don't have to worry about predators and stuff like that.
Dude, can I say one thing?
Please.
3 of those 4 things you just said you can already do. You live in the Pacific Northwest. You can eat fish every day, and you are an apex predator.
Yeah, but I guess mostly the flying thing. But being surrounded by nature, not to deal with everything. You know what I mean?
Like, no, I know what you mean.
I like that. Hayden,
that's a solid pick. A bald eagle.
Thank you, sir.
Not the golden eagle, hey? You want the straight up bald?
Yeah, I want the bald.
America. Okay, so only because I enjoy watching how clumsy this animal is in captivity, I would love to see how it survives.
Panda.
Exactly, panda bear. I would love to sort of see what the life of a panda bear is in the wild. Whether they frolic around and roll around as much as they do in their habitats, or
isn't it wild that they only eat one thing?
Yeah.
Like, is it pandas or koalas? Isn't one of them like? I thought it was pandas. If it weren't for humans, they'd be extinct. Like, we need to get our fact checkers, but there's one of those. I could see you as a panda bear, Hayden.
I can see that.
I got the body shape.
I can see you as an eagle. Yeah,
me as an eagle.
I think what Justin said, I think it would be a panda, because I think they're actually quite useless. Like they fall over the place. They
Just like to roll around
dumb.
and eat.
Yeah.
But they're big suckers. Like, I'm like, it's a bear. It is a big freaking. It can be quite ferocious, I'm assuming, but it just looks so.
I've never seen
carefree.
any video of any panda be aggressive though.
Yeah,
I can imagine maybe like the mom with the cub or the baby pandas could be potentially, but I don't think I've seen it. Oh, have you seen the one where the caretakers need to take the baby for a checkup and they just bribe it with a treat or something, and then the mom just lets go of the baby?
No.
Yeah,
right.
Like, they
give it a
don't
treat.
care. You just
Take my
have a
baby.
little treat, like an apple or something, and just lets go of the baby, and the caretaker just takes it away, and there's just the mom's just eating the apple.
See, I wonder if that's a learned behavior, though. You know, if it was in the wild, I'd be like, no.
What about you, Justin?
Oh, Caitlin Lieb.
And why exactly would you like to see from her soul? You just be staring at yourself every day.
I would just no.
I've got soul in all the right places.
I would just go and like flirt with Shao for a day, just so he thinks he's got a shot. Just
good.
Just to torment him.
The extra big laughs.
Yeah. No, it's
Shao.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like it would be honestly hard to not pick an animal. I would choose a three-toed sloth, I think, and then I would see how fast I could be. I was like, can they really just not move fast? And if you can't, like, it'd be kind of fun because do you think you're moving fast, or are you just trying to move fast and you can't? And if you can't, like, what does that feel like?
So we got a three-toed sloth. That's actually really fascinating choice. Justin.
I don't. You know what? It's you think when you ask a question, when you like, hey, I'm going to hit these guys with a question, I would have thought of an answer before. you know, but I didn't really. And then I didn't want to be boring because tigers are my favorite animals, and it's like, oh, but do I want to pick a tiger? And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and wing it and try and think of something creative. And I really like being lazy sometimes and sloths. But you know what? Maybe it would be better to be an ant, because
maybe
then I can figure out how the fuck they get into my house, and then I know how I can murder them all when I get back into my body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you consider being the queen ant? Because all you do is pretty much have sex and lay eggs and be fed the whole time.
That's pretty much what I do already, dude. I just don't
Justin
have sex. No, I just don't lay eggs.
Or get fed. So you really don't do anything.
You got any more brain teasing questions?
I had the the other heavy one, because I was just trying to think of some that from the film, and so I had the do you believe in souls one, but that might be a whole nother podcast, that question.
That could lead into a lot of different things. I think in general, there was a long time where I just didn't, there's like no ifs, under, but I felt like if you pass, you pass, and that's pretty much it. But I don't know. I'm open to the concept of it. I just right now I haven't really been proven or whatever that it kind of does exist. You know what I mean? I maybe there's something that I'm missing, or I'm sure there's something more grand that I'm not grasping onto. But as of right now, that's just my belief right now. And same as like, when people ask me, oh, do you believe in soulmates? No, for me, not really. That's just my thing.
Yeah. I don't think soulmates. I mean,
souls and soulmates are different, but
yeah.
Hayden, do you?
I was just going to follow off on what you were saying on terms of whether or not, the belief is out there. And it made me just think, just going back to your first question, Justin, it would be interesting to be, say, the soul of like the Dalai Lama, where his soul is in fact always meant to be the reincarnation of a previous version of himself. So that would be a good one to kind of be into, and then it would answer your question, Shao. It would be like, oh, is this something that exists outside of our, living realm? And is there a way to consistently, patch yourself back in again and again and again?
Do you guys remember when the Dalai Lama licked that little boy's mouth or tongue or something?
No.
Do you guys remember that? Justin, do you remember? That was a few years ago when there was like a little boy who like met him, and then he was like, "Oh, you're so cute," and he licked his tongue. And
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was I haven't heard much Dalai Lama news after that, but
yeah. He got me too.
On your algorithm.
So, I don't believe in souls. I don't know. I believe energy. I think all living things, obviously, they contain some sort of energy, but I don't believe in that stuff. But what kind of throws me sometimes is, and maybe that is it's not dark, but so my grandma was when she was really ill. My parents were like, you should go visit her. I think I was like 18 or 19 at the time, and they're like, it's close. And I had kind of like, everybody had gone and done the rounds, and for whatever reason, I had been, putting it off. And anyways, so I go see her, and I actually had some vegetables from her garden for dinner that night. And so I went, and she was at my auntie's house, and I went into the room, and she was there, and she was dying of lung cancer, and she was about like 80, 90 pounds. Like, she was a skeleton, and she couldn't speak, and she was lying in the bed. And I just went and I sat with her, and I she looked like death. It was not good. And I just chatted with her and told her I had some of her vegetables for dinner, and they were good, and whatever else. And then she passed away the next morning. And at her funeral, it was open casket. So we were going in, and I went up and I had a moment with her before, and she was all done up, looked good. Like, they had makeup on. Like, she physically looked better than when I had seen her, however many days before. But when I looked at her, while physically she looked better, I could see that there was something missing. Now, obviously, I was aware that she was past, but it was a weird experience for me to see. And even when I went to see her, like, her eyes were closed, she wasn't engaging. Like, she could have been dead, for all intents and purposes when I saw her then, because she wasn't moving and her eyes were closed, just as the same as she was in the casket. And she looked worse, but there was a big difference between those two times. And so I don't believe in souls, but I believe there's, we carry some sort of energy with us that we, is released or given back to the earth or the stars or whatever it is. Who knows? We'll know when we die, or we won't, because we'll just be worm food and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I agree with that for sure. Have you guys ever been asked what you believe your purpose is in life?
No.
Do you believe you have one?
No. Actually, I do. All humans have the same purpose, and that is to reproduce. Because we're animals. Yeah.
To be the dominant existing species.
I don't even think it's to be dominant. I mean, I think we're in a position where we can be, but I think it's just to live, man.
If Total Recall told us anything, is that we are determined to be the dominant species, and then even try to destroy ourselves in the search for superiority. But that was last week.
To you, Shao?
Well, because whenever I have been asked before, and then I think sometimes is overthink it, because my initial kind of reaction or answer would be very similar to yours. right? Because I do realize how short we are on this earth for, you know, compared to the whole grand scheme of things, of course, and how kind of, lightly put, nothing really matters. Like in the end, I don't want to sound like, down or whatever, but in the end, one day when we're gone, like the earth will still be here and doing its own thing or whatever, right? So, but I've been asked before, and I was kind of told to answer in a way that's kind of like, no, like what do you believe that you're put on this earth for? Like, you think like you're meant to be like someone who inspires people or like teach people or whatever. I'm like, oh, that kind of, okay, I see. I always believe that my purpose was to somehow do something that helps others, I guess. At the end of the day, no matter what I do, I kind of just, no matter what job I do, even if it's for acting or whatever, for example, if it's for acting, I kind of hope I can one day do something or be in something that can help other people if they watch it. For example, if you watch something that's, to do with like I don't know, just somehow inspire them to do something. When you leave the theater and you feel that way, maybe after watching whatever.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah, please.
Do you believe that?
Do I believe what?
That like you just said that you in as an actor, it would be to fulfill somebody else and not fulfill yourself.
Yeah.
Like essentially, like, I mean, it's a great thing to say and it's beautiful if you believe it, but I'm just honestly curious. Like, for me, great if somebody else is inspired or has a feeling because of my performance. Ultimately, though, that's not why I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it because I want to act and play and have fun and I love it. So I'm just curious.
No, I know that's a fair question. I think and all what you just said, acting, play, and all that stuff, that is part of it. Like that's why I love what I do. But the kind of bottom line of it is when people ask me more about why do you do acting or something like that, and some people have heard straight up say, I want to be rich and famous, or I want to be in blockbusters, or I want to make money or whatever. And that to
James
me,
Bond, I want to be in a Star Wars movie.
yeah, stuff that's not really attainable.
Yeah.
No, it's kidding. But like I believe that I think at the beginning and when I was young, I think that's what it was all about for me, because my idols, Jim Carrey, whoever, were so idolized and put in a pedestal. And you see clips of Michael Jackson and the way that people react when they see him or whatever. I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool one day. And then when I start seeing what fame does to people, what it can do to people, and doesn't at the end, it's kind of like Mike Tyson kind of said this once, where he was, of course, on top of the world, right? At one point, making millions of dollars. He was legitimately the top person at one point as a boxer. You can't get any higher than him, pretty much, right? And then once he has an interesting perspective, because he has experienced all that, and he has experienced a downfall as well, right? And now his perspective is just none of that stuff matters to him. None of that stuff from before, making millions of dollars, being the world's best, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's more so about providing for his family and all that stuff. And yeah, some people might say, yeah, well, you experienced it, so you have that perspective. But we haven't yet, and we want to know what it's like to be on top, that kind of thing, right? So I think that his point of view is a very interesting take, because he has literally been on top and bottom, and out of all that, he's just like, really none of that matters. And that kind of is what my parents have always told me to, as motivating as it is. But yeah, at the end, just live a happy life, and that's really all you can do, and see.
It is. And seen. See, I mean, we've all gone through similar journeys, I assume, and myself, because I'm getting older, I've returned to where I once was as a younger. Because when I went to university to join the police force, I was very much going into it thinking I'm going to do something better for everybody else. That's how I'm going to contribute to, you know, as my time here would be to help the community, help whatever. And then you get very, very jaded when something goes wrong. And I backpedaled into selfishness, to put it bluntly, and that it was all about me. I'm going to do everything that I want to do for myself. And you go to certain places and you get to certain, you know, plateaus in your life. And just to go back to things you said, Shao, it never quite, or even you, Justin, and the film itself, it never quite fulfills you fully. And you wonder why. And you're like, well, it didn't work helping, and it didn't help looking after myself. So where do you get to? And then now that I'm, you know, approaching middle age, I guess you start to take a different perspective. And when certain things in your life are taken from you, not like death and whatnot, but say my situation where you remove yourself from your life and you go somewhere completely different, and then you get to see the perspective of what is there to make your, you know, some meaning to your life and to the world that you're in, and you reassess things. So being here with no family, and then I had you guys as family because you were the friendships that I had here, you start to realize what it means to, you know, to do something to make your life have meaning and to help other people's and to give a little bit of meaning to them, hopefully. And then along the way you find people, and, you know, got a beautiful fiance and a lovely family here. And then you see the ripple effect. Like my parents back home are very thankful for that family here that has taken me in, and then it's affecting their lives in a positive way. And you kind of see the things that you do in the world and how they affect, and how that gives your imprint on your life, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see, I'm still learning every day as I get older, the things that are, and your own, like you were saying, Shao, your own internal like happiness kind of also radiates out. So if someone's an ass to me, I'm still going to be respectfully joyous around them and watch them either take that on, and if they don't take some of that with them, then it's not for me to keep going, and then I'll, you know, just keep doing your thing, and it kind of works. It's working its way out. It's working for me slightly. I'm not sad very often these days.
That's good. Very good.
Good. I think it's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I think
for sure.
You know, and it goes back to sort of, you only live once, YOLO, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Get one crack at it. So, you know, I you want to be kind and be a decent human being, but, you know, I used to do a lot of things for other people, or, you know, make sacrifices for myself for, you know, other people or other whatever. But as I've gotten older, and I still fall victim to it sometimes, where I feel like, oh, like I feel guilty if I don't do something or see somebody or call somebody, whatever the reason might be, or whatever it is. But, and I've learned that it's okay to put yourself first, and it's okay to look after yourself, because that's when you can be the best version of you.
Yep.
So,
yeah, very well put. Very well put. Thanks for answering those, guys. Those are pretty deep answers and deep thoughts. And on that note, I think it's time that we. There it is. Hayden, do you have a writing utensil and a pad of paper or something to write on?
I have a digital pad of
I'm looking forward to your game. Shao messaged right before we were about to hop on, and he's like, "Hey, bring a pen and paper."
That's exactly.
And I thought he was going to get us to try and like draw our
Pixar
like
character.
a made up Pixar character or something. I was like, oh shit. But so I'm eagerly awaiting to hear what this game is, Shao.
Oh no, it's nothing different or whatever. It's just instead of a buzzing format for what we usually do, I just want to do it this time where some of my answers require for you guys to be close to a certain number or something to see who's closest to the actual answer. And you can go over. It's not like a Price is Right thing. Whoever is closest to the answer of whatever. So some of these questions will require that kind of tie-breaking sort of format. So this is not all just about Soul. It's about kind of all Pixar related things in a way. Okay. So I'm already going to scrap one of these questions because Hayden already ruined it for everyone.
Does that mean I start with a 1+?
No.
Dang.
Yes.
I mean, Justin's the only one who I've actually beaten in this game, so.
Okay.
I think.
Hold on. Do we ding still?
No.
Or?
No. No
okay.
ding.
We just write it down. I'm going to put this down here then.
Okay. It's like the relationship game, except we're doing it with ourselves. They kind of ask us a question, we'll write it down and show the answer.
All right. So just to start off, I'm going to give you both 30 seconds on the clock to write as many Pixar titles as you can, and sequels count. Okay. And then at the end, you guys, your answers will cancel out, and whoever has more than the other one will get the point. Okay. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Now, this part of the podcast will be very, very fascinating because this is me talking for another 20 seconds. And if you can't see, they are both very intense into this. Justin hasn't blinked once, and I always see is his hand moving. We're 10 seconds, fellas. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pencils down, please. Pencils down. Hands up.
Oh, I could write more, bro.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we okay. So, Justin, why don't you list off yours, and Hayden, if he says any of yours, you cross it off your list. Okay.
Toy Story.
Okay.
Inside Out.
Okay.
Inside Out 2.
Okay.
Soul.
Okay.
Toy Story 2.
Nice.
Elemental.
Ooh, nice.
Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Cars.
Okay.
Cars 2.
Okay.
Cars 3.
That's a lot already. Okay.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
And that's all I got before time run out.
Okay. Okay. Interesting you didn't do Toy Story 3 and 4 while you're at it, but
is just like a stream of consciousness. It was just
I don't think you said Toy Story 2 either, did you?
He did. Toy Story 1 and 2. Okay. Hayden, do you have any that he didn't name?
Yes. Bug's Life.
Okay.
Yep.
Up.
Nice. That's
Wall-E.
a short one to write. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Wall-E. Brave.
Ooh.
I had Toy Story 3 and 4. And then that was it that I had that he didn't have.
Oh, wait. So yeah. 30 seconds is a very short time for 30 something movies or whatever they have now. So you know what? Why don't we just tally? Let's tally your total. Let's not do the cancel thing because that's stupid. Let's tally your total, Justin and Hayden.
I wrote 11.
That's really good.
13.
Okay, hold on a second. I want to see your screen. Does it say Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and 4?
It says Toy Story 2, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah. See, I actually wrote Toy Story, and I wrote Toy Story 2.
So you wrote the full thing twice. I just did Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4.
The title.
I did write the title. Depending on how you read it. I was like, no way, this is a little bit not unfair. I shouldn't say that. But Justin's got kids. He's going to watch Pixar films more often than I have.
Elemental is a good one, by the way, Justin. I like that you added in that.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Well, it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
So, in the memory bank.
All right. So Hayden will have that one for round
Damn
one.
it. Oh, you cheating
Really
son
close.
of a bitch.
I didn't cheat.
Okay,
I just went the easy way with sequels. It's like, which ones have the most? And then I totally forgot like Incredibles 1 and 2. That would have been another easy.
Correct.
But
so, okay.
No brain.
Now you can just, so for this number 2, please write down the answer. You have 10 seconds to write it down. Maybe 5 seconds, but whatever.
Holy shit.
What is it's not a long thing. It's not a list thing. What is the highest grossing Pixar movie to date? 10 seconds.
Done.
Yeah.
Done? Okay. Reveal, please.
Inside Out 2.
Is that what you wrote?
If you can see it, Inside Out.
Okay.
2.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. So Justin has 1 and Hayden has 2. Now, opposite spectrum. What is the lowest grossing Pixar movie to date? And I will tell you, according to Wikipedia, it's 332 million.
I can't remember the name of it. I remember what it's about.
Let's go with. I probably spelt that wrong. I really like this movie, but I'm just winging it because I haven't heard too many people talk about it. It's not very popular in the Pixar world.
Okay. And what is that?
Ratatouille?
That's incorrect. That's one of my favorites. Hayden,
I really like Ratatouille.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the ogre one that had
Onward.
Oh,
that's both incorrect. The correct answer is The Good Dinosaur.
Oh,
that was James's first movie. I should have picked that one because it wasn't that great.
Yeah, that was one of the B movies, and I think a close second behind that would be Cars 3. Okay, so we're still tied at 2. Not tied. We're still 2-1.
No, I think you were right the first time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So which Pixar movie has the most Academy Award nominations with 6? 10 seconds.
Whoa. Let's go with.
Okay, final seconds.
That could be wrong.
Hayden, you have it locked in?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, Hayden, show me.
Well, I've got 2, so I'm gonna write the second one because that was the one. I'm gonna go with this. If my phone wants to, if you can.
It says Toy Story. Is it say Toy Story 3?
Toy Story 3.
Okay, that's incorrect.
Oh,
is that what you wrote?
No.
Oh, interesting. The correct answer is WALL-E.
Oh, that's the one I wrote first.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
I did.
Dang.
And I was like, damn, I have to say, to be good with this game, I'll say the second thing I wrote down. Final answer and all that. And my rage made me out of focus. I raged myself.
Okay. So this is
the themes of Turning Red. I guess Turning Red, for those who couldn't see the video, because I don't know. I just thought, I don't know.
Did Turning Red go to cinema, or was it like a Disney Plus direct? I can't remember.
I thought it was a direct.
Was it? Okay, I really shot the bed on that then.
I mean, they might have done that, hey, release it for 2 weeks just to get it in contention sort of thing.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Okay, so how many Pixar, so this is one where you get closest to the answer, okay? How many Pixar films have won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature?
Ooh.
Whoa.
How many Pixar films have won Best Animated Feature? So closest number. You can go over if you must.
Are we allowed like a small clue on how long has the best picture for animated film been a category, or is that defeating the purpose of the quiz?
No.
Okay, I got it. I'm locked in.
Seconds. Locked in. Okay, Justin, why don't you show me first?
I wrote 5.
Okay.
Oh, Hayden, quit changing it.
Hayden,
I'm not changing it. I'm turning it bigger so you can read it better. It's an 8. It's an 8.
The correct answer would be 11.
Whoa! I knew it was good, but I was playing on the safe
actually
side.
that one kind of.
Dang.
All right, so we still have 1, 2, 3. Technically, you're still in the mix, Justin.
Okay, I like being in the mix.
So does it?
Okay. So this is another approximate number one. This is going to be a tough one. So here we go. Yep. Toy Story 2 had roughly 4,000 storyboard drawings as a blueprint for the film. During the approximately 5 years of development, the Soul Story team delivered how many storyboards for production? So Toy Story 2 had 4,000. Soul had how many?
Oh my gosh. It's either going to be high or it's going to be ridiculously low compared to that.
5 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hayden looks locked in. Are you locked? Hey. Hey, he's locked. Justin's locked. All right, Hayden, why don't you show me your answer first? Wait, can you hear him, Justin?
Nope. So disqualified. That's a big 0.
That's a big 0. With no audio.
So while he's trying to figure out why he's muted, I wrote 2,439.
Okay. Hayden, what did you
see you do math?
Well, I might not have to. Hayden shows me a better answer. Can Hayden hear us? Okay. Well, let me see your super bright phone.
Pull it back.
12,000.
12,000?
I don't have to do math because the correct answer is 73,811 storyboards.
Shut up. No way. That's bullshit.
So
73,000?
Yeah.
So I guess they almost would have done frame for frame for the entire film, wouldn't they? Which is ridiculous.
So that's an outrageous number. Okay, so Justin, you're still in the mix. Don't worry.
Does that mean I get a point for that?
You did.
Who was closer? So it's 4-1. It's 4-1.
Yes,
4-1.
Okay. Right. So Justin and Hayden, Cars 2 is rated the lowest Pixar movie on Rotten Tomatoes with a score of what percentage? Not the audience rating, the tomato meter.
Tomatoes.
It's the lowest rating of all Pixar's?
Correct.
Is it fresh or is it rotten?
5, 4, 3, 2. All right.
This is a point. This is a point stealing guess right here.
Here we go, Justin. Let's see your percentage.
50%.
Oh, okay. So Hayden? I did
51.
I did 53.
Oh,
ooh, Justin with a nice point there because it is at 39%.
Oh.
Let's go.
Woo! Here we go. So it is certified rotten. I really liked Cars 2 because I thought it totally flipped the script on the previous film and it was like a spy one. Or is that, yeah.
No. Okay.
But I might be in the minority there.
Here we go. Okay, we have
clearly
a few minutes left. Here we go. Okay, so as everyone knows the movie Up, okay? The iconic scene with all the balloons, whatever. Someone did a physics test. How many helium balloons would it actually take to lift the house up from Up?
And this is just your average size party balloon?
Yeah, average size party balloon, correct.
There's too many variables here. How much does the house weigh?
There are a lot of variables.
There are a lot. I ain't no
both on the even
physicist,
playing
though.
field right now.
5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. Again, closest.
Okay, Hayden go first. Hayden go first. Hayden go first.
I have no idea on this one, so I did 12 million helium balloons.
Okay.
Okay, Shao.
You can't even read that, but yeah.
What's the answer?
No.
You want to know the answer?
I'm not going to change mine.
Actually, Hayden is not that far off. It's 9.4
million.
10 million. Hold on a second.
Okay. So you 10. 10 million. So Justin, good job.
Yeah, thank you. I put a million down. I had a million.
Okay. So the score is 5-2, but little do you know, this last question is worth 9 points. So it's anyone's ball game.
So it wouldn't have mattered. I could have bombed all of them.
Well, you would have won if you got all of them right. Okay, so the last question is the Pizza Planet truck, okay, appears in every single Pixar movie in some form, some way or another, except for one movie. Do you know which movie? Has no reference at all to it, according to my sources online.
According to your sources.
Every one but one?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Okay. Do we get a second to try and think of every single movie? Okay, you just tell me when.
I think Hayden has it locked in already.
I do, because I don't really know at all. It's a guess, yeah. It's a big, big guess.
Okay, I'm just, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Hayden, why don't you show me your answer?
Let me highlight it and make it a little bit bigger for you. Come on, phone.
Brave.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good. That's going to be right. That's got to be right. I went with. Oh, where is it? Coco.
Oh.
So both are incorrect. This is, I guess, this is a really hard one. But interestingly enough, the correct answer is The Incredibles.
Oh.
I believe the second one.
I think with so many vehicles that they would have just stuck it in somewhere. I was trying to. Yeah. Brave is a good guess. So where the hell is it in Brave?
You know what? Let's ask Dre.
It's probably some like relic painting or something. Or it could even be like the pizza on a spring or something. They're really crafty with hiding that stuff. I was trying to think timeline wise. So then I was like, oh, maybe the dinosaur one would, because it's so far back in the past, how would they include it? You know? But who knows? They're crafty. And even with the Incredibles, they could have done it. Okay, you've got the answer.
Uh-oh. He's
let's see.
He's locked in.
He's gonna get a point.
Brave. Okay, there. In the wood carving witch place. You remember that part where like the witch, she has a bunch of wood stuff. Has a shop that is a buffet of Easter eggs, but one of the carvings is worth noticing. Oh, this is just a.
So we can use it as the truth.
What?
So it's in a wood carving that the witch does in a forest.
Would know what
there you
pizza truck looks like. Okay, yeah, apparently it's in there. Oh, yeah, there is a pizza truck on her wooden table.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, there's a truck there. Yeah.
Well,
okay,
Hayden, nicely done.
Good job, guys. That's a pretty tough one. But thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. And thanks for opening up with some of your personal intakes and stuff like that. I had a
good time
chatting with you about Pixar stuff because I love Pixar, as we all do, I think. But on that note, next week we will have Hayden lead us into one of his favorite exotic movies. I don't know what it is yet.
Ooh, exotic.
In the meantime, thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, comment, all that usual stuff. And until next time, please keep on
thumbing.
Thank you.